President Trump promised to get America, as you know, out of foreign wars, not start new ones. Would he be going against that promise if he did, in fact, go to war with Venezuela?
Absolutely not. If you're an American and you want Maduro to stay in power, man, have you lost your way. President Trump promised to secure our nation from the scourge of narco drug trafficking. The kingpin in our backyard is Maduro in Venezuela. They're poisoning America. They're aligned with Hezbollah. Iran vowed to come to their aid just yesterday. So I applaud President Trump of trying to bring down this narco-terrorist state in Venezuela run by Maduro. They're bad news. They did seize our assets in 1976. They are flooding our country with cocaine. They're aligned with international terrorist organizations. I support the idea of standing up to Maduro, and I want him to go. I am all in the camp for regime change.
This is my video update on this Monday afternoon, December the 22nd, coming to you from Athens, Greece. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with a fight that is brewing in Europe. A fight between Macron and Merz. Had a lot of fights going on this weekend. We had Joshua taking on Paul, and we also had an interesting fight between Andrew Tate and what's his name, Demore. And now we have, according to the Financial Times, a big time fight between Emmanuel Macron and BlackRock Merz. That's right, according to the Financial Times, which is very Merz friendly. They are saying that Macron, he betrayed BlackRock Merz with the meeting in Brussels and the Russian frozen assets, the decision to not take the Russian frozen assets. And Merz, he positioned himself as the brains behind the plan to take the Russian frozen assets. He even wrote a piece in the Financial Times putting himself out in front as the person who came up with the taking of the Russian frozen assets from Euroclear, and Merz thought that he had the support of France and Macron. But according to the Financial Times, Macron played it cool, he played it quiet, and when he saw that things were not going to go down so well with the taking of the Russian frozen assets, Macron betrayed Merz, and he decided to side with Meloni, Orban, Fico, De Wever, Belgium, Cyprus, Malta, Bulgaria, all the countries that started to line up against the taking of the Russian frozen assets. And Macron betrayed Merz. He betrayed Ursula, because Ursula, even though she does not like Merz and Merz despises Ursula, they decided to unite for the taking of the Russian frozen assets. And Macron, he decided to go against them. And now, according to the Financial Times, Merz is going to make Macron pay a very heavy price for his betrayal. Let me read you the exact quote according to the FT and their sources. Macron's quiet knife in Merz's back. Quiet knife in Merz's back. Et tu, Emmanuel. Et tu, Macron. Et tu, Macron. According to the Financial Times, an EU diplomat said bluntly, Macron betrayed Merz, and he knows that there will be a price to pay for that. Merz is going to make Macron pay a very heavy price. But Macron is very clever. He is very clever, and Merz is not very clever. What kind of a financial genius is Merz to come up with the taking of the Russian frozen assets, to position himself as the person who came up with the idea to take the Russian frozen assets, and he And he claims that he's some sort of BlackRock business financial guru. Not very bright, that BlackRock Merz. And so Macron, according to the FT, he joined Belgium, Italy, Hungary, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic in opposing the plan, thus killing the idea of taking the Russian frozen assets. And the EU leaders, they had to go with the 90 billion loan to Ukraine, which isn't really a loan to Ukraine, and no one really understands what's going on with the 90 billion, what the whole 90 billion to Ukraine is really all about. Everyone is kind of scratching their heads trying to figure that one out. But Macron, he is one step ahead of Merz, 10 steps ahead of Merz, Emmanuel Macron, because as Merz is planning to make Macron pay a heavy price for his betrayal and for embarrassing Merz, and the German media is mocking Merz big time, Macron, he is now saying that it is time to talk with Putin. The great diplomat, the great statesman that is Emmanuel Macron. Oh, man. Yeah, Macron supported the taking of the Russian frozen assets. Let's not kid ourselves, but he's the great flip-flopper. Macron is the king of flip-floppers. Didn't Merz and Ursula, did they not see this? Do they not understand Emmanuel Macron? I imagine that Christine Lagarde also told him from the ECB. She also told Macron, this taking of the Russian frozen assets is a bad idea, and the ECB is not supporting it. And then Macron, he played it quiet. He played it quiet, and he decided to go with Meloni and Orban and the rest of the crew and De Vivre of Belgium. And now Macron is positioning himself as the great diplomat. Now it's time to talk to Russia, says Emmanuel Macron. Of course, Macron is saying that he's not going to sit down with Putin unless he has the EU and Ukraine by his side. But that's what Macron is saying. It is time to speak with Russia. He is saying that now that we have some sort of a ceasefire that's taking shape, which is a lie. There is no ceasefire agreement or any ceasefire taking shape, but that's what France is saying. That's what Macron is saying, and he's using Putin's statements that Putin made during his Q&A from last week, where he was asked about speaking to Europe, and Putin said, "Sure, we'll speak to Europe." And Peskov even said that the Kremlin is open to speaking to Europe or to France, as long as it's a conversation, as long as it's a negotiation and not a lecturing. Russia's not going to be lectured to by Macron, and Macron is using all of this to position himself as the person who can sit down with Putin and discuss some sort of a negotiation to Project Ukraine, some sort of a deal for Project Ukraine. This is going to infuriate Merz and Ursula even more. But that's how Macron is playing this. He's ready to talk with Putin. France gives update on potential Macron-Putin talks. The terms for a conversation between the two leaders could be determined in the coming days, Paris says. So that's little Napoleon taking on Merz and Ursula and the German Baltic coalition. Macron is breaking with the German Baltic coalition, and it looks like he is aligning with a Meloni Orban Visegrad contingent. That's how it looks. We'll see if Macron can actually pull this off. If he has the guts, the cojones, to realign himself and to realign Europe away from Germany, the Baltics, and move it towards some sort of France, Italy, Visegrad position, control of Europe, of the EU. Do away with Ursula and Callas and Merz. Macron. He only has a year left, so You know, he's probably saying to himself, "This is the time where I can seize power in Europe." Germany is weak. Merz is weak. Kaya Kallas is a no-show. Ursula's despised. Now is my time. So anyway, that is the update on Macron and Merz, and we'll see what Merz does. We'll see what Germany does to get revenge against little Napoleon for his betrayal. The unity in the EU is no more. The Russian frozen assets has divided Europe. Division over money. Division over money. Isn't that how it always goes? All right, let's move on and talk about the negotiations between the United States and Russia and the Kremlin. They have come out with a statement, and they have revealed the purpose of Dmitriev in Miami. And the Kremlin has said that Dmitriev is in Miami meeting with Witkoff and Kushner, having met with Witkoff and Kushner, so that he could be briefed on everything that was discussed in Berlin. As I said in many videos, that this is most likely the purpose of Dmitriev in Miami. The Kremlin has admitted as much. So we got that statement. And we are getting some news about Umerov, who is also in Miami. Let's go this way. Umerov is also in Miami, the one-time defense minister of Ukraine. Now he's the chief negotiator, because Yermak is no longer the chief negotiator. Now Umerov is the chief negotiator. And he's been hanging out in Miami for a long time. And a couple of weeks ago, the Washington Post reported on some sort of a secret meeting, a not-so-secret meeting, between Umerov, Kash Patel, and Bongino. And the Washington Post, their analysis, their bonehead analysis of the meeting was that Umerov was meeting with Patel and Bongino so that they can make a deal on Project Ukraine, on the negotiations and the peace for Project Ukraine. That was the Washington Post's analysis of the meeting. And my analysis of the meeting was that Umerov is meeting with the FBI in order to talk about some sort of amnesty or some sort of protection. Kind of a no-brainer, huh? Why else would Umerov be meeting with Patel and Bongino? The eye of Sauron. And that is exactly why Umerov met with Patel and Bongino. According to Ukraine media, Umerov is looking for protection from NABU and from the corruption scandal. And so he met with Patel and with Bongino, and he's looking for the protection of the FBI. He's looking to jump ship. That's what he's looking for. To jump ship, to set up shop in the U.S., to be protected by the U.S., and he's out. He's Audi 5000. That's exactly what he was discussing with the FBI, with Patel and Bongino, and that is what Ukraine media is reporting. Umerov wants protection from the corruption investigation of NABU. And keep in mind that NABU was set up by the United States and Europe in 2015. So he's going to the source, I guess. I guess he's going to the source and he's saying, stop going after me, guys. or tell your guys in Kiev to stop coming after me and just let me live here in Florida in peace. You got to imagine that's what he's asking of Bongino and Patel. Well, Bongino's gone in January. So I imagine Bongino said, you know what, I really don't care anymore. I'm going to go back to podcasting. And Patel probably said, you know what, I got to get on a plane to go to my girlfriend's country music concert. Oh my God, what happened here? What happened here? Wow. So Yermak is still hanging around in Kiev. He is still hanging around in Kiev. Look at all the ants. Look at all the ants. You guys see them? So Yermak was fired or resigned, whichever way you want to look at it. And the reports are, well, he was supposed to go to the front lines, right? That's what he said. I'm going to go to the front. That's what Andrei Yermak said. He never went to the front. But the reports are that he is now acting as a chief of staff for the Zelensky regime. So he resigned, but he hasn't resigned. I guess officially he's resigned or he's fired, but I guess unofficially he's the chief of staff for Zelensky. Those are the reports that we're getting. And today we had some big breaking news, and I believe this is confirmed. And the news is that I'm not 100% on this. Let's say I'm 95% on this news, but it looks like, oh boy, this one's heartbreaking, man. This one is heartbreaking. I'm actually tearing up. The reports are that the advisors to the head of Zelensky's office, Mikhail Podolyak and Sergei Leshchenko, have been dismissed following Andrei Yermak. Podolyak, you're fired. Oh no, please, let this not be true. Please let this be fake news. Anyone but Podolyak. Anyone but Podolyak. No. Say it ain't so. Those are the reports that we're getting. But you know what? Podolyak, he may be officially resigning or officially fired, but I don't think these guys are going anywhere. At least not for the time being. Maybe they're setting everything up so that they can make a quick exit. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe Umerov, he's in Florida, setting everything up for everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on. And so they're getting rid of the inner circle is being dismissed officially. Unofficially, they're going to remain in Kiev. This is just my guess. Unofficially, they're going to remain in Kiev. Officially, they're not part of the government, and this will make for some sort of a quick exit when the time comes. That could be what's going on. Or maybe Podolyak is just done. He's done with being Zelensky's sidekick. Mr. President, I'm sick of your Podolyak. I'm leaving. I'm going to buy a football club in the UK. We'll see how all of this shapes up. We'll see over the next few days what happens. If I had to take a guess, I would say that officially they're gone. Unofficially, just like Yermak, they're going to be hanging around in Kiev. After all, there's allegedly there's 90 billion coming into the coffers, though no one knows how exactly that's going to work. But I can't imagine the inner circle leaving at a time when perhaps the final big payment is set to arrive. I just can't see that happening. Of course, you could also make the argument that Zelensky is doing this so that he can show to the Europeans, to the Trump administration, that he's handling corruption, right? The mainstream media can come out with articles saying how Zelensky is so committed to taking on corruption that he's even getting rid of his inner circle of producers and scriptwriters, right? You could say that that's what this is about. The optics, the media of it. So Trump and Hegseth today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, they're going to announce something big. That's what we know. A big announcement today, 4:30, U.S. President Trump with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. So either this is going to be a nothing burger, like the last big announcement, or this is going to be related to Venezuela. That's my guess. Either Venezuela, something's going down, or we're just going to get another announcement of what took place last week, where Trump announces how the United States is the hottest country in the world, and the U.S. military is the hottest military in the world, and that'll be that. So we'll wait for the announcement this afternoon in the United States to see what this is all about. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce some sort of airstrikes into Venezuela. Perhaps they're going to announce how they're going to ramp up the seizing of tankers, the sea blockade. Could be an announcement connected to the sea blockade in Venezuela. And the reports are that they went after another tanker yesterday. I've actually read some reports which claim that the tanker thwarted the U.S. Coast Guard's efforts to seize it. It actually got away, or it made its way to, it was going to Venezuela, this tanker, and the U.S. Coast Guard was chasing it down, trying to seize it, and the tanker got away. And it eventually made it towards Venezuela. I believe it was from Iran to Venezuela. Those are the reports that I read. But the United States went after another tanker. So they're seizing tankers. I like it. I like it a lot, matey. If you like this video, hit that like button and share this video and subscribe to this channel, Pirate Trump. I like it. Today I'm going to announce, matey, matey, I'm going to announce more seizing of tankers. Walk the plank, Pete. Anyway, U.S. pursuing another tanker ship near Venezuela amid Trump blockade. The U.S. is pursuing a vessel in international waters near Venezuela on Sunday after attempting to intercept it, a U.S. official said, as President Donald Trump's administration tightens its crackdown on the country's oil industry. Now it's all about oil. Now it's all about cracking down on Venezuela's oil industry. The tanker, called the Bella One, was sailing towards Venezuela to pick up oil. It is under U.S. sanctions for links to Iranian oil. American officials view it as part of the shadow fleet that transports oil from sanctioned nations, and a warrant has been issued for its seizure. The shadow fleet. So it's no longer the Russian shadow fleet. Now it's just a shadow fleet. Russia, Iran, China, any tanker that is not insured by the collective West, by London, is now just up for grabs. It's up for seizure. Part of the shadow fleet. So that's the reporting from CNN. And Lindsey Graham, he was on NBC News, I believe. It was NBC News, Face the Nation, or Face the News, whatever the show was called. But he was telling NBC News that he is very much in support of regime change in Venezuela. He said, if you're a U.S. citizen and you're not supporting regime change of Maduro, something's wrong with you. That is what Lindsey Graham said. Something's wrong with you. You got a problem if you're an American and you do not support the regime change of Maduro. And so he's supporting regime change. He supports military action. He supports the seizing of tankers. The international rules-based order and all of that is just being torn apart. It's being torn apart by the very people that lecture us about the international rules-based order. Those are the very people that are tearing apart the international rules-based order, whether it's seizing oil tankers, whether it's attacking oil tankers, whether it's seizing a sovereign country's assets. They're the ones that are tearing apart the international rules-based order that they created. Anyway, that's what Graham said about Venezuela and Maduro. And then Graham was asked about Ukraine and the conflict in Ukraine, and we're back to where we were before Alaska, because what Graham said was Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine for deep strikes into Russia to hit Russian air bases and Russian oil facilities. So he said that. He said that Trump needs to enact his bone-crushing 500% sanctions on China and India to hurt the Russian economy. And he also said that he is absolutely in favor of seizing Russian oil tankers. Can't make this up. That is what Lindsey Graham said. It's time to seize oil tankers in the Caribbean, and it is also now time for the United States to seize Russian oil tankers, to go after Russian oil tankers. I'm not sure if he was saying the United States to go after Russian oil tankers, or if he's supporting the Europeans, NATO, the collective West, to go after Russian oil tankers. But anyway, he supports going after oil tankers carrying Russian oil. I believe that's what he said. So that's Lindsey Graham. No surprise there, but we're right back to where we were from before. Alaska. He supports the seizing of ships carrying Russian oil. That's what he told NBC. So we had the news of a Russian lieutenant general who was assassinated in Moscow. His Hyundai or Kia was blown up. There was a car bomb underneath the driver's seat, and it blew up, and he died from his injuries. And this lieutenant general, Vanil Sarvarov, lieutenant general, was part of the Russian general staff. He was a member of the Russian general staff. I believe he was... What's up, my friend? How you doing? Hey. You're a good boy. Or a good girl. So he was in charge of the training of troops. And he's been assassinated. So the general staff, they are going to do something. Yes. Yeah, they're going to go after whoever did this. Well, I think we have an idea who's behind this. Most likely the Ukraine intelligence, the SBU, though we don't have an official statement from Russian investigators, so I don't want to get ahead of the investigation, the reports. But it does look like this was some sort of a terrorist act by the usual suspects, but that has not been confirmed. So I just want to say that this is not confirmed. We'll wait 24 hours, and I'm sure that the Russian investigators will issue a statement as to who they believe was behind this assassination. The dirty war, as Alexander described it well over a year ago. He was the first to say that as things go really bad for Ukraine on the front lines, we're going to shift to a dirty war. And that is exactly what is happening. So should we do a clown world and wrap up this Monday video? Let's do it. Let's do a clown world. And we have two really good clown worlds for today. The first one is out of Estonia, where a court in Estonia is forcing Kaja Kallas to publicly retract a false claim that she made against an Estonian MP of an opposition party. So this Estonian MP of an opposition party, I believe the Conservative Party, in 2022, they were leading rallies in Estonia, and one of the rallies was connected to the coup, and another rally was about something else, I forgot. But anyway, they were They were holding rallies in Estonia, and Kallas, who was Prime Minister of Estonia at the time, this is before she was appointed as top diplomat, so she was not yet stunning and brave. This is before she became stunning and brave. And she claimed that the protests got violent, and this MP and the opposition that were holding these protests, they were attacking police. I believe that is the story. And she made these claims publicly, and the opposition, they took her to court, and she lost. And the court has now forced her to publicly admit that she made false statements. And so she had to post on Facebook that she lied, that she made false statements. And I'm going to read you what she posted on Facebook. Kallas posted her retraction on Facebook on Saturday, writing, I, Kaja Kallas, published false factual claims in a post on February 17, 2022, stating that Estonian police were attacked at a demonstration organized by Varo Voglad and SAPTK in Tompeo, and that Varo Voglad and EKRE organized a demonstration on October 23, 2021 at Freedom Square in Tallinn. These claims are untrue. She did not apologize to either plaintiff. So that's the retraction that she posted on Facebook, saying that she made false claims in 2021, a demonstration in 2021 that she claimed got violence towards police. And that's not what happened, according to an Estonian court. And she was forced to admit as much on Facebook. She posted it on Facebook. So she's making false claims about that. I wonder what else she's making false claims about. Just saying. And we get to our final clown world. And this is courtesy of the UK Express. Courtesy of the UK Express. Nature's cup holder. And this one's a good one. This one is a good one. And this is not an old post. This was made on the 21st of December, 2025. One would think that the Express published this story 3-4 years ago, but nope. This was published just yesterday. And the title from the UK Express is Putin's desperate troops so short of food, they're eating each other in Ukraine. Ukraine claims Russian forces have resorted to cannibalism. Okay, let's see what the Express is saying. Let's see what the Express is reporting. The very reputable UK Express. A radio intercept shows Vladimir Putin's starving troops, revealing how they are resorting to cannibalism. The claim from Ukraine's GUR military intelligence relates to invading soldiers in Zaporozhye region. Due to a lack of food, the occupiers are sharpening their knives and preparing to eat their younger comrades, said the spy agency. The GUR said cannibalism is becoming a common practice among Russian soldiers. In June this year, it became known that a serviceman of the 68th Motor Rifle Division of the Russian Armed Forces had been eating his comrade for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. Wow. 2 weeks. It's a long time. It's a really long time. So that's the UK media from just yesterday. I don't think I need to comment on that story any further. The source that they're using is Ukraine military intel, a very reliable, very reputable source for the UK. Believe everything coming out of the Ukraine military intel agency. Absolutely. Just go with it. Just go with it, believe it, and publish it. And I imagine there are going to be some people, I imagine there's going to be a lot of people who are reading this article from the Express and actually believe this nonsense. But hey, that's propaganda for you. That's the UK media for you. That's the video for today. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on X. We are on Rumble. We're on Telegram. We are also on Substack. So check us out on Substack. There is a link in the description box down below to our Substack, to our locals. And check out the Duran shop. Pick up some merch. There is a link in the description box down below. Take care.